it has become apparent that I have a lot to talk about, but no structure. I say this knowing that I made 3 hour videos, multiple 3 hour videos, and then decide to scrap it all because, to be honest, I need some level of cohesion. First of all, just because I have a lot of content doesn't mean I can record all day. I do have other things I have to be doing. So, expect a video every week, Wednesday. I will try to post them 7 a.m. PST. Every week, I will have at least one video. That's my goal. I might have other ones sprinkled in, but that is my goal. One video a week. This is my announcement one on Thursday. Maybe I'll do another video tomorrow just to round out the week since I had done every day until now, which I'm proud of, honestly. But I want to make sure one video a week every Wednesday, and then any other extra ones I'll do during the week. You may notice me wearing the same shirt sometimes. I'm not sure if this video is going to have multiple shirt videos like this, but basically, if I'm wearing the same shirt, I recorded it all in one day, and you can tell by that. Also, I have some of the same shirts. I have 3 of these black shirts. So that will add to the confusion and make you think I recorded more than 27 hours in one day. It is currently 7 a.m. I may or may not have stayed up all night trying to record something that I felt was presentable. So the question, I guess, becomes, what shall we talk about for this video, since this is the one that's coming at the end of the week? I noticed that a lot of people kind of come here, watch a few minutes, and leave, then maybe come back sometimes. That's fine. So let's find a topic that would actually be useful. We could talk about the other academy stuff. Not academy. We could be talking about the different campaigns that I have: Academy, Archangels, the Delivery. We could talk about any of those. Those are the ones happening in Turog. We could talk about the RP. We could talk about those characters. I like to have the deep dive videos where I am narratively telling it, but hopefully I can get better mic because my voice was not that good in those videos. But overall, I want to tell stories. I want to see stories. So let's talk about storytelling. So whenever I make something, I do so with the utmost attention to having it so that someone can enjoy something. I I am dreading every day the feeling of someone saying, that wasn't really a fun story, that session was shit. That is the worst feeling for me. And now that I said that, I'm sure that some people might comment that just to make me feel sad. But it's kind of true. It's just one of those things. Every time I make something, I want people to enjoy themselves. I want people to have a nice time. When I got my fiance and I was actually telling her about my RP stuff, the Hecarim, I dreaded having her actually join it. I just wanted her to know that that's something I did, and she wanted to join. And every day since, she has told me, Jovan, you need to like give me scripts so I can make a comic about this. Jovan, we need to make an animation about this. I'm sure she's just being nice, but she keeps telling me, no, 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 she's serious. Which is why she started drawing for me for this YouTube channel. Uh, she truly wants me to succeed in whatever I want to do, and she really wants my stories to be heard. So I'm trying to at least get some of it told. We'll see how it goes. Speaking of her, she did tell me that she's like not a fan of like having her face on the internet and stuff, but she did say that if maybe if we start getting paid on YouTube, maybe she might be willing. So that's that. If you guys share this to all your friends and such, and we get enough views, my fiance will show her face on camera, I guess. That'll be funny. Storytelling. This is why I can't be in charge of making the videos. I need someone to tell me when to do stuff. I need a productions assistant or something. But storytelling comes from a place of passion. If you are wanting to actually tell a story, don't do it because you feel as if you can just do it. Do it because you have a passion for it. Because those are how the best stories are told. Have you ever seen isekai anime? A lot of them are uninspired. A lot of isekai are the same story retold in just slightly different clothes, and they don't make sense, and they don't have flair. They don't have something that makes them interesting. This is because you don't need that for garbage. I mean, not garbage, snack food. That's a better way of saying it. There are some garbage isekai, but most of them are just snack food. They have this feeling where you could watch it, you'd be like, oh, that was nice, and then you move on. In reality, it didn't have substance. And that's because a lot of people who tell stories and a lot of people who make animations because they're pressed for time and such are not trying to necessarily tell a story. They're trying to make money. They're trying to do it real fast. There are some who really want to tell a story and make their stuff a little bit different and have a cohesive backstory, have a feeling behind it, which is notable. And that's why we watch those ones. That's why those ones become popular. It's because of that reason. Other isekai you won't really hear about or you won't care about because they have that issue. Why am I talking about isekai when I'm talking about storytelling? It's because isekai kind of is like story trope. And when you're telling a story, story tropes are fine to work as a base, but if you have no passion to tell the story, then you're just going to be left with story tropes that are linked together. And not many people like that. In DD, it's very similar. In RP, it's very similar. If I make a world, what do I do in my world? Let's just make it so that it's a world where everyone is magical and you can level up. We'll do dungeon crawls every single week. Fine. Some people will enjoy that. It's content. Well, why are they in the dungeon? Whose dungeon is this? Does that impact anything? If you didn't think of any of that when you put them in this task, you should at least try to think of that while they're doing it. Because otherwise it's just a dungeon crawl inside of a D&D session where you just have mechanics and do actions. There's no story element. And you want story elements inside of your world, something that makes it kind of unique, something that draws people to it. You can have homebrew if you want to do homebrew, but it doesn't matter if you don't have passion and story behind it. Characters are a good way to make that happen. Whenever you have a passionate player base, let's say that you have your friend who's playing with you, and he has this idea for a gnome who's a barbarian who he can't handle his rage, and he gives you a backstory where like his whole village was killed. He was originally going to be like a preacher, but then all of a sudden his whole village is killed off and it turned him away from his faith, making him into just enraged all the time. And he can't help it. He just remembers the faces of all the people he cherished when that village went down and burned away. If he tells you all of that, that's content. That's stuff in the back of your head to keep in mind. Who burned his village? Did he say? If he did not, you can use it. You can, of course, always check with him. Be like, hey, by the way, do you know who burned your village? Because asking those questions show that you're listening, you're watching, or you're um, reading his backstory so that he knows, oh, he's wanting to know something about my backstory. And they may answer like, yeah, an orc raid. A bunch of orcs destroyed my village. Or they could be like, I don't know actually. My character knows. I don't know. Go ahead and try making something of that. If they don't feel like making it themselves, they will pressure on you, and that's fine. You're the DM. That actually is better because for you, that means that you can make up whatever you want attack the village. Hell, you could have said that it appeared as something attack the village when in reality it was actually an internal thing. Like for an example, the headmaster of that village, let's say that it's a tribe of some kind, right? The headmaster of that village actually has a situation where um, he had two sons, and his two sons, which could have been fighting about something, one of them just decided, no, I'm not gonna just play around and wait. I'm gonna actually make sure I get the next in line title, and tries to kill the other one. And in the midst of doing so, a fire started, confusion occurred. Maybe the other brother actually had this whole plot where he was going to slaughter the supporters of his other brother, and in the chaos of everything that happened, that's how the village gets destroyed and people all died. That's possible, but it can lead to other issues. Did anyone survive? Who would know? Stuff like that. personally, the idea of with an orc raiding thing could also work out very well. Well, if that's the case and you know it was orcs who did it, then you can, as a DM, create captains of that orc band who may have or may not have been part of destroying that village. Maybe it was a captain who was directly there who murdered someone right in front of the player, or maybe it was someone who wasn't really part of it but was part of the same band, and now the player must make a decision: do I take revenge on someone who wasn't even involved? I mean, maybe because, it's an orc, right? Orcs, big, hairy, uh, disgusting creatures that want to kill everything. Well, here's an orc that is well kept, well spoken. He's here saying he's a captain of that band. But instead of attacking this village, because maybe he has a different tactic, he's asking for tribute ahead of time. Is that any better? Should you just take revenge because he's working for the enemy? Should you try to capture him and put him to the local guardsmen instead? How does that impact your character morally? How does that affect the story? And is this part of a main part of the story? Or is this a side part that he's personally dealing with while the other players are like, man, why are you focused on the orc band? We have an evil wizard in a tower. He's going to literally destroy the world. Why are you focused on the orc band? Because characters are driven by the action, by the morals. And if this guy really does have that whole idea of like, the reason I rage as a barbarian is because my village was destroyed in every single waking moment of my life. I picture that moment. He's not going to care about the wizard who's going to destroy the world right now. He cares about that orc band. And he has to make this moral decision right now. This reason I'm always angry or the end of the world. And then as a DM, you can also make other decisions. How does that impact him on a moral level as well? Usually you want to make sure ahead of time that you don't want to like screw up things. Like mechanically speaking, if you mess with mechanics, some players will meta because, they don't want to screw up mechanics. It's a thing. So they might just go and try to impact the decisions based on mechanics. Instead, you just want them to do it by story. You don't want to punish them for doing something that the character would do. So you don't want to take away rage, for an example. Because if you just do that without anything, you have to make sure that they're okay with it. Because if you just take it away, that feels punishing. It feels like, well, I guess he just wanted me to do that action instead of, no, he was giving me a choice and this is impacting my character on a deeper level. Not a lot of people will think that way. Some people will, but not a lot. Instead, you could do something like this. As you turn away from this Orcan band, you feel the anger welling up. You know in your heart the decision to stop the end of the world is greater, but you can't help but feel that this chance is going away. The answers you could have been looking for, the enemies you could have slain, all that disappearing as you turn towards the tower. My mouth is dry as hell right now. um, I've been speaking for a total of 7 hours, and none of it's going to be on any of the recordings you guys see. So, you turn towards the tower. The anger in your heart filled higher as you realize you won't be able to get your revenge today. And because of this decision, because of this wizard, you might not ever get your revenge. That way you keep the mechanics, you give him more purpose, you have him make this character decision, and you also kind of lead this this situation that isn't fully shown that allows us to build on it later. Yeah, we didn't get our revenge on the orc raid, but maybe we can still do it just later. Or maybe because of this action, something does happen, and now you can't. You'll find the dead body of him somewhere. That was your revenge, and it's now lost, and you don't even know why. Could be a lot of things. That's what story building is. It's a lot of branching pathways that could happen because technically inside of a world, anything can truly happen. The question is what makes sense inside the moment, what makes sense in the world. And it's very difficult to make sure that you do it correctly because there is no correct answer. It's improv. You're trying to just tell a good story. And sometimes when you tell a good story, you might flub it. And flubbing it, that's fine. You always have the next story to tell. You always have the next thing that you need to say. So don't worry too much about flubbing. Just worry about trying to make sure everything makes sense, make sure that everything can actually feel good for the player, yeah, but for the story. So if you flub, just try and make it work. I think I said everything I want to say for this video in particular. It's already almost 20 minutes. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know that this was very unscripted, very unknown. I will get better. I'm planning to write a special type of script structure to help me stay on topic. Something that will have key points that I can stick to make it so it can work better. At the very least, I will still keep my improv nature, which I like so much, uh, but I will be structured better so that it can flow better and it can be understood better. I'll have it so that the table of contents can also be written for each video. You notice that I had it on the introduction to the world, but nothing really else. And that's because I don't have a structure right now. But when I have a structure, I'll make sure to do that. I think that will lead to better videos, shorter videos for some people, and to make it stand a little bit better. I will also have more guests on, hopefully, and we'll see how that goes. Every Wednesday, guaranteed at least one video. That's what I'm shooting for. If I miss one, I'll make 3 videos at the end of the week. Yeah. And if we can get like a bunch more subscribers, maybe my fiance would come on more. Who knows? You guys have a wonderful day. I um I truly thank you for watching these videos. Sometimes it feels like you're just speaking into the void, especially when no one's home. So I thank you for staying with me, watching these videos, enjoying them. I hope you do. And hopefully next time we can get into better topic and structure. Um, this is something I'm probably going to redo in a future date in a better way as well. Storytelling is something that's I'm very passionate about, if you can't tell. I love listening to other people and their stories, and I love creating things. So have a wonderful day. Keep watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.